Hello and welcome to Medium Literate, the podcast where two longtime best friends try to sharpen our media literacy skills by talking about a new movie in theaters every week. This week is a big one of the biggest movies of the year, the Odyssey, and we go just absolutely long as hell. So be prepared for that. We talk about it head to toe. Also, I'm Emily Faye. My co-host is Monica Scott. And you can also, if you're just listening to this episode, you can find us on YouTube at Medium Literate and watch the whole episode. I'm wearing a thematic shirt, so check that out. And Monica's wearing her fake braids, so you gotta check that out. So without further ado, here is the Odyssey. Enjoy. Hello. Welcome to our The Odyssey episode.
Visuals right up front. Emily, you're sort of in theme.
I'm theme dressing. I'm just like Zendaya.
Exactly. And I would like to point out that for you, for our listeners, for everyone, I am wearing my fake braid.
Oh my god. Thank you. Monica, thank you.
Fake braid reveal.
Oh my god.
Not gonna show the back of my head because I didn't put a lot of effort into that part, but
that's how you know this episode is a big deal, because I've been begging Monica to break out the fake braid and she finally did.
And if you're a newer listener and you don't know why I have a fake braid, I bought it while rewatching Game of Thrones. So I'm influenced by the media I enjoy.
You know, you said it wasn't a good match to your hair color, but on camera it looks pretty good.
On camera, my hair looks a little darker than it does in like sunlight. So in sunlight, yeah, and you can't really on camera you can't quite see how many grays I have, but because of the grays and because in sunlight it's like a little lighter. In sunlight, this looks incredibly stupid. I'll tell you that much. This is more of a night braid.
a night braid, an event braid.
Well, exactly.
That's thematic. I love that we didn't even talk about it, but we both dressed kind of on theme.
And I did have a different shirt that was like only one shoulder, and I didn't like how nude I looked, so I changed last like 1 second before you came on. So
hey, fair enough. Fair enough.
So we're here to tackle the biggest thing possible.
Yeah, kind of like the movie of the year, some might say. I have a very clear memory of a year ago when they announced the release date and had tickets on sale.
Yes, I remember that also.
2026 summer seemed impossibly far away. Yet here we are. Here we are. We're all another year older, and now we've all seen the Odyssey.
So check those two things off the bucket list. So before we start talking about this movie, we wanted to first touch on our like relationships to this story.
Yeah, because I feel like what you know going into it does impact the experience and reception quite a bit, and everyone has such different levels of knowledge with like Greek mythology, because it's like, you know, a lot of kids were like, you know, that's one of those classic like childhood obsessions that like one can have, is like being like a Greek mythology kid, and then some people aren't, and so there's like such a deep difference in people's knowledge going into it.
Yeah. And so where do you land on the spectrum of knowledge?
So I was like a bit of a Greek mythology kid, but I would say most of what I know about the Odyssey is from various, you know, modern novels that are like retellings of Greek myths. So like Madeline Miller with like Circe and Song of Achilles. And then there's this other woman who I don't think is as strong a writer by a long shot, but really got in on the Madeline Miller, trend of like, and she wrote one, the two I've read from her are Electra, which there's like Clytemnestra, who's in the Odyssey. That's all about, she's within that story. So I knew some of that stuff and the Agamemnon stuff. And that was the book Electra, and then Ariadne, which is more the Minotaur stuff, which doesn't have as much to do to this. And then like there's one called like The Silence of the Girls, which is like sort of about like all the women they took as, prizes at Troy. And Electra also deals with like the prophetess Cassandra, who it was like part of the whole Agamemnon sacking of Troy thing. Yeah. And so everything I know is from these books.
That's so funny.
I found there were, and the thing about this genre of book, which again, spectrum of how good these books can be, because it did become like very much a trend, is that they're very female focused. It's very focused on like the female characters, because those are like the undertold stories of these stories. And some of them are great. And some of them, it's almost like, okay, we don't need to apply like a modern feminist lens to every. It doesn't always apply to every whatever. And so because of that, there's a lot of things from the story I did not know, because it's the things that just happened while they were like at sea, and it was like just Odysseus and the men. But then a lot of the sort of background back at land stuff I did know going into it.
Okay.
So what about you?
Well, I definitely read that Circe book, and I am here to admit publicly for the first time ever that it took me maybe a year to read that book. I don't know why. I just like sometimes I mean, this is like this makes me sound stupid, but sometimes if the names are really hard to read, or if it's a fantasy situation, I just sort of like slow way down, and it like takes me like 4 times as long as it would to finish a book. And I had that problem with Circe because I had no exposure to Greek mythology, really. Like, I don't remember this coming up in school at all. I mean, I went to public high school in Long Beach. I think that they were just like happy we didn't have a gun.
I feel like it doesn't come up in school very much. Like,
my mom said she had to read the Odyssey in high school, and I was like, what?
I didn't. I certainly did. Oh, I should also admit that I started the Emily Wilson translation of the Odyssey at one point, which is what this heavily pulls from and is apparently quite controversial. And I'm gonna finish it someday. Get off my back, everyone. I'm gonna finish it someday. But I kind of fell off on that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think that I know that the Emily Wilson one is like a little easier than some of the other, like that there was more effort put to put kind of like more plain language on it. Yeah. But I do still just stumble a little when I'm reading like names that are hard for me, or like situations that are hard for me.
Right. I also think that it's like, it is an epic poem. So even if you're putting it in plain, I like literary fiction. That's what I enjoy reading. And so it is a little bit hard when it is a little bit more like, it's not obviously like a modern novel where you're getting like the interiors of the characters and their like motivations and thoughts and all that stuff. Like, it's a completely different type of thing, which is obviously it is a very valuable piece of the bedrock of civilization,
storytelling.
But it's like I do find it a little harder to just like sit there and just like read.
Yeah, and like I think that's reasonable, and it's okay. It's just like something. But what I was going to actually say about Circe is that for some reason, this is how bad I can be with these names. I literally, the entire time I was reading it, thought it was circle.
Oh, no.
I thought her name was Circle. Like, through the whole book. I found out, like, 2 years ago that it was Circe. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I'm a shining star of genius.
Okay, look, I know that people, if they're just listening to this part, they're going to say, oh, this podcast is just two dumb bitches telling each other exactly. But we're going to get smarter. Don't worry. We're just being honest with you up front, okay?
I think that there's a lot of value. And I'm hoping that the people who find this podcast are the people who don't want to listen to film bros talk about Nolan and want to hear two normal women talk as smartly as they can.
Yes.
In a very sincere way about it, because we'll get to the movie. But so there's Circe. I did read, so I had like a little bit of context for the Circe segment of this movie. And then Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is largely the story of the Odyssey. And so I've seen that.
You know what, I'm like, that movie I like, but I've like only seen it once. But I am obsessed with the song from the Sirens scene. I love that song.
I'll be honest, the whole soundtrack rips. It's really fun. Remains a very fun soundtrack. But yeah, so that movie I remember, and then like I don't know. Like I guess I don't really know that I had much exposure to this outside of that. Like, I understand that it's the basis of most storytelling and it's like hero's journey stuff, but I had little to no exposure to like these names, these situations. And I guess I saw the movie Troy, which is, the book that comes before it.
Sure. I've never seen Troy, actually.
I remember quite liking it when it came out, and I now understand that it's largely understood to be quite bad. It's very like white people's interpretation of this, it was the basis, I think, of a lot of the like stupid culture war stuff around the casting when the like stuff was first announced, because it's like Brad Pitt and like whatever. But to be honest, it is where I get a lot of my understanding of what happened in the Iliad, because it's the story of the Iliad, and so, this was better, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Also, what are your feelings generally about Christopher Nolan?
Okay, so I have seen 3 Nolan movies ever. I didn't even watch. I talked to you yesterday about maybe watching Oppenheimer. Spoiler: I didn't do it. But I know enough of Oppenheimer's story to make the parallels everyone's making. But I've seen 2 of the 3 Batman movies, and I saw Inception when it came out. And then otherwise, for some reason, Nolan is someone I have sat out completely. After seeing the Odyssey, I have warmer feelings towards him. But it was almost a situation of just like too many of the most annoying men in my life were telling me he was very important and I needed to care. And I don't think it's like a great mindset to be in, but it did make me defiant. And I was like, actually, I don't care. And I won't watch any of the movies.
No, I get that. I mean, I was looking, I was like, okay, wait, how many Christopher Nolan movies have I seen? And like, I was looking at the list and I was like, not a lot.
Which ones have you seen?
His Batman movies.
Sure.
I have seen Inception once.
Yeah.
I did not care for it, if I remember correctly. And then I did see Oppenheimer.
Okay.
And I recognized it was like really good and stuff, but it's not like I necessarily want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I was like, yeah, that's good. Whereas like, I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
Like,
so no Dunkirk or Interstellar for you?
No, I've never seen Interstellar because I think
neither.
it's my aversion to space stuff.
Oh, right.
And
forgot.
Also with Dunkirk, it's just like, I don't like war movies. I find them really boring. I think he works in a lot of genres, and then Inception, that type of like sci-fi stuff. I think a lot of his movies are just not things. I will say it's my bad that I haven't seen The Prestige. I do think I would like The Prestige.
I think I would too.
So that's on me that I haven't seen that.
Okay. We'll do it for Christmas.
So going into this, it's not like I was like, oh, I'm so excited for the like next Christopher Nolan. I think I was excited because it was the Odyssey. And yeah, I do have that left. Like I do like Greek mythology stuff, and I do like that. I do like stuff of that era, which I hate that that's become like a weird player in the culture wars.
I mean, I also, you know, I don't want to give too much voice to any of the culture war stuff around this movie. I fully want to say that I believe it to be like mostly bots and not real.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's like a concerted effort to push that narrative. And it's like, if you're a human being and you genuinely believe that culture war casting stuff, I want you to know that you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking moron. You're dumber than rocks. And I don't know what to do. Like, no one can help you.
No, those people are truly a waste of oxygen. Please don't get in touch with us. We don't want to hear it.
No.
But no, I loved this movie. I have plans to see it again later today.
Okay. Are you going to seek out the 70 millimeter?
No, it was more months ago. A friend of mine did a bunch of Entourage tickets for today for just normal IMAX.
Okay.
And so then I had to see it on my own because this was too late for the podcast. So like I saw it Thursday night, and I was fully prepared if I didn't like it to like bail on, you know, the second round today. But I was like, oh no, I'm actually like, I'm excited to see it again. I think it'll be a really good second watch experience.
Yeah, we're going to go. I saw it in regular IMAX at just like our local AMC that has an IMAX, but we're going to go to the Music Box to see the 70 millimeter next weekend.
Yeah, I saw it in the only time I could get a ticket, the day I needed, the time I needed was Dolby, which is not bad. So
yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, so it's not the way it's meant to be watched, but you know, Dolby rocks. I love Dolby.
As Nolan intended. Have you seen that video that's going around? As Nolan intended?
I've seen a couple of the Apple Watch and
there's like people like in a movie theater that like every time they pass each other they're like, oh, IMAX, and then they both go as Nolan intended.
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's really funny. Yeah, I'm relieved to hear that you loved it. I was pretty sure you would because I think you like period pieces, to be honest. That was my first thought.
And especially this, I like this period of pieces. I like Greek mythology stuff. I do.
I really, really, really loved it. So we're gonna go in sequential order of how the movie happens, which we don't always do, dear listeners. You may know that, but this movie covers too much, and we just want to make sure we catch it all.
No, we really wanted to make sure. Like, this would be very difficult to just bounce around, and also confusing, and also doesn't make sense. So we will be taking an Odyssey of our own through the Odyssey.
I do just want to say that when I asked my dear husband Alex what his awareness of the story was, he said Wishbone, an episode of Wishbone. So
okay, that
just
is
flagging that.
So funny because I had a thought about Wishbone that I was going to mention, which maybe I'll just mention now. Something I do too often, which I want to stop doing, is I refer too much to discourse I'm seeing on Twitter. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I want to talk about that less. But with this movie, there are so many people who are like, it's not accurate. It's not accurate. It's not accurate. Which I'm like, it's so old. It is literally an ancient text. Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't want any like creative takes,
like creative decisions made.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do genuinely think those people just want the Wishbone Odyssey. Like, I think they just like wish that Matt Damon was Wishbone, because they want it just like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, sorry, it's not Wishbone.
I mean, sorry, it's not Wishbone. What can you do?
Look, we love Wishbone. He's a star. But this was Matt Damon, not Wishbone. So get over it.
Okay. That's really funny. That's why I took Twitter off my phone entirely, so that I wouldn't ever have opinions about Twitter discourse.
Smart.
Okay, so the first chunk we want to talk about is like our intro to Ithaca, the first like 20 minutes where we're just sort of hanging out with Penelope. Here's the other thing, listener, I just want to flag right now. I'm gonna struggle with these names. I have them open in front of me, and I'm still panicked about having to say them out loud.
If she says circle, just move on. Let it go.
It's just something I, for some reason, am too stupid to get right. Penelope Telemachus, who is Tom Holland's character, and who else do we meet? Antinous.
Yeah.
Which is Robert Pattinson's character.
Yes.
Robert Pattinson giving just an incredible wormy guy performance.
I loved it. Like, he was playing this character as like a 1980s bully, like rich kid bully, and it really worked for me.
Yeah. Also, when you make Robert Pattinson do an American accent, I think it really turns up the yucky worminess. I think that he needs to be British to be charming.
Yeah, I agree. Because he was, I mean, I think the only time he's ever been allowed to be charming was in the drama.
Yes.
And then, he's whatever.
But he was British in the drama, right?
Exactly. But that was the first time he was allowed to be British. But usually he's doing a funny little accent. Like in Mickey 17, he's likable, but he's doing a wild accent there. And his just normal American voice does make him sound a little evil.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I thought he was one of the MVPs.
Yeah, and it's, he doesn't necessarily get as much screen time as some other people, but every time he's on screen, you really can't take your eyes off him. He makes you feel viscerally uncomfortable with the way he's acting.
And he was just making such a meal out of every line delivery, every look, where it was just this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, and he was kind of using his jawline for evil. It was a lot of tense-jawed scowls, which I thought were really well placed. And Tom Holland also there doing his thing.
Obviously,
so performance.
Yeah, it's say. Obviously he was outacted by everyone, but
yes,
I really did not mind his performance as much as some people. Do I think he's a genius actor? No. From interviews, do I think he's a little dumb? Yes. But I think this character, I kind of think he worked for it, because it's the character is supposed to be kind of a nothing little clueless baby man who has to grow up. And I thought that he did a totally fine job of that. Yeah, because he was frequently, it's interesting that he's in his 20s in this movie, and he is sometimes naive, like a 12-year-old or 11-year-old would be. And then it doesn't really make sense why he wouldn't just be king as a 20-year-old. But yeah, he is supposed to be kind of a naive, useless little baby man, and he did that.
And he nailed it. He was naive and useless and a baby. We also get introduced to John Leguizamo's character.
Okay, yes. Give me his name. His name I do not remember at all.
Okay. It starts with an E. Hold on. It's hard to find on the damn IMDb. E I'm sorry. Eumaeus, Eumaeus. Eumaeus, I think.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that.
So Eumaeus, I mean, John Leguizamo is also to me like MVP performance. Like really, really something I just haven't seen him in a lot of stuff lately, so maybe I forgot that he's quite good. But man, he is quite good. He was like so compelling to watch, and so I did want him to be kind of an ass kicker for some reason, like and I don't know if I'm like, maybe I have like Hong Kong like fight movie brain where I'm like, oh, here. Old blind guys secretly can kill everybody. And then he's like, no, he's just an old blind guy. He's not doing so well. But I really liked him a lot.
I thought he was great. There was a little part of me that was like, why not just get an old man? But you know, it's that is my fault for that's it's because we know who's playing the old man. If you didn't know who that was, you would believe it was just an old man.
Right. And they have like a slight time jump story-wise where
flashback.
They have to show him throwing puppies off a ledge.
It was a different time.
Insane.
They didn't need the puppies. What are you supposed to do with the puppies?
Insane choice.
And they got such cute puppies.
So
they were like
up.
They had some PA find them a basket of the cutest puppies available.
Yeah, and but so they had to, I think it's like easier to cast someone who's like in between both those ages.
Yes,
probably
true. But yeah, he was very good.
He was incredible. And the dog was incredible too. The dog was old by the time he was in this. I think it was two dogs playing that character.
You think?
And it was. I saw the credit. It was two different dogs.
Of course it was. They were also different breeds. I actually kind of wish that because that older dog is like not my preferred type of dog, or the type of dog that puppy would have actually grown into is absolutely a preferred shape of dog for me. So I kind of wish the dog had been a short-haired dog in elderhood too.
Yeah, the puppy grows up to be like kind of a scrunkly little like shaggy dog guy,
which look, I don't have an issue with. It's just that I prefer like a lumpy short hair dog, and that is what that puppy would have grown into. But whatever.
And it's not accurate, historically not accurate. I also like the set. I found the Ithaca Castle set to be breathtaking, and I watched, there's like a behind the scenes video that's like floating around. The set was like a real castle off of the coast of Sicily or something. And it was a 45-minute hike to get to the set.
Okay, that's
everybody had to do that every day.
That's awesome.
There's like an interview with Robert Pattinson where he's like, yeah, you'd like get in costume at base camp and then you'd have to hike for 45 minutes.
That's amazing.
In sandals to get up there.
You know what? I honestly wonder if that like helped the costumes and their makeup and stuff all looking more like lived in.
I think it definitely helped a lot of them. I know that Anne Hathaway was helicoptered up every day because they didn't want her looking kind of fucked up.
It makes sense since she never leaves that one room.
Yeah, but everyone else had to do it, including like the crew that had to bring up like the extremely heavy IMAX cameras and film. Everything about how they made this movie seems like a fucking nightmare, but very cool, but really a nightmare.
Yeah.
And Anne Hathaway, this is really what you cast her for.
She was amazing.
She was incredible. She had such like gravity and intensity every time she was on screen. This is truly what you get her. Like, she can play a nice warm lady, and that's great too, but I really like when she's playing this.
Yeah, and it just, she was so good as like a mother of that time, where it's like, you know, there are times where you do see how much she loves him, but like, yeah, she's not warm and cuddly because it's a fucking cutthroat world. She's like,
yeah,
you know. I also, the design of Ithaca was so cool. And it's like, what I got from kind of the movie, I could be so off base here, and some of the, books I've read, is it seems like Ithaca as a kingdom is a little bit like Hicksville vibes compared to some of these other kingdoms. Like, you know, a bit more of like a goat heavy, you know, sort of more rural kingdom as opposed to these other ones. And I thought that there was such a good difference in the look of all the different kingdoms. The other ones you only really get flashes of, but they did all have such a different vibe to them.
Definitely. Yeah, and I will say the first 20 minutes of the movie, I don't think I was hooked in until a little later. Like the first 20 minutes I was like, oh, I'm a little worried that I'm not going to be able to understand what people are saying. I feel like a lot of times I watch things that are like a period piece with subtitles on at home, right? Like just because the names are a little weird and I'm like not catching the like words and places. I mean, same problem I have with books, right? Like it's just like when it's a setting I'm not familiar with, I'm like, what are they saying? But once we got off of Ithaca and into Calypso's island, I was starting to be like, okay, getting a little more interested. And then by the time we get to, you know, the Cyclops, I was like, okay, I'm all in.
Yeah. Okay, so Charlize Theron was my only...
Me too.
I just thought that was... It really took me out of it.
Yeah, I don't think she wasn't the worst, and I think her performance is like fine, but her styling and just her voice,
the way she talks, like everything.
It didn't feel like it was in that world. No. And I mean, she sort of just looked like a free people yoga teacher kind of vibe.
Even at one point, like it's like they couldn't even, she has like a fucking blunt bob. Like it just felt, I don't know, that was absolutely my least favorite casting.
Yeah, I do. And, you know, not to make the people, the culture war people upset, but I also did sort of feel like, wouldn't it make sense if Calypso was a Black woman? But what do I know? I think she is in other versions of this story.
Yeah, I mean, any of these characters could be anything, truly.
Right, the Mediterranean is essentially right across from Africa.
Right, so. And it's like, it's actually confirmed in a lot of things from that era that it's like, they weren't like white supremacists then. They had like a lot of like sort of caste system vibes with slavery and stuff, but like they weren't racist in the way that these people are, you know, want to put their own racism on that system. Whatever. But
Europe developed that later.
Yeah, but I don't know. She just felt so modern in a way that it really didn't do it for me. It was the only casting that bothered me.
Because I also felt like this is like so specific, but it was sort of like, I think speaks to like a larger thing about why the casting didn't feel right. It was like her eyebrows are so thin and plucked and perfect, and I was like, you guys live on a desert island. I think I want someone who like has a sort of like sensually shaggy appearance. Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
She's a sea nymph that like lives on this wild island alone. Like she wouldn't have like a claw clip hairstyle and then just like a normal dress, but ooh, there's a net over it. But I don't know, just everything about Charlize Theron is like deeply, deeply modern, and that didn't work for me. not that that character was like the best written character either, but it's like that is a pivotal framework. Like she is why he was gone for 10 years instead of 3. Like that's important.
That's what really stands out to me is like, I think the reason it was bothering me is like, well, this is like an important part of like how I would understand this story. Oh, I just realized another thing I knew about the Odyssey was that I don't know, I'm not a musical person, but on TikTok there's some musical about this story, like that is the Odyssey, and some of the song clips go really viral. And so there is a song clip from Calypso's perspective that goes really viral all the time, and it is why I knew anything about like the Calypso situation.
Because okay, if it weren't for that, I'm like, would people understand that she was like keeping him prisoner for 7 years essentially?
No, and I kind of wished that I mean, and I think that maybe Nolan was like taking a slightly different, he was definitely taking like a softer approach to her, because she comes off a lot more regretful and compassionate than I feel like I wanted the character to be. I wanted the character to be, you know, some kind of like sneaky Spider Woman with him in her web.
I mean, I believe that like the only reason she ever lets him go is because like several gods intervene and like force her to. Like,
yes.
I think the thing about like one of the things about Greek mythology that's so interesting is that the gods, one, are just so matter of fact. Like it's not like a religion where you believe or you don't believe. It's like they're just like, no, the gods are as real as rain or dirt or the sun. They just exist. Sometimes they walk among us, and so they control everything. And the fact that the gods are, it's not like, oh, they're gods because they're like such good people. Like they're petty, they're violent, they're evil, they're like all of the worst human traits. And they have all these offshoots of like children who are half god, who are just kind of
which is
around.
her, right? She's a demigod, I think, Calypso.
I think so. I think like Circe is too. Like I think a lot of the nymphs and stuff are, or it's like the child of like Achilles is, I think, a nymph and a mortal king. Yeah. And so he has like some slight shine to him, but like he's not immortal. But yeah, it's like these sea nymphs, it's like they can be very evil and selfish
frequently, their whole thing.
Yeah, and so it's like it's odd that she has like essentially no characterization like either way, and it's just kind of like, okay, why now is she like, okay, I guess I'll let you remember.
I think it's interesting that it is interesting that she essentially is like, she's almost like someone who had addict parents, and it's just like, I'm just caring for you in the way you asked for because I don't want to see you suffer, and that's just it. Like, I'll feed your addiction to this flower because whatever. But also, that's kind of your first introduction to like the fact that the gods affect this story, but they are not really literalized kind of at all in this. I mean, there's like the visions of Athena, but even by the end, you know, and we'll get to it obviously, but was it, you know, was that Athena that he was seeing, or was he just like, and so I think that feels like the reason that the approach to Calypso is different, is like, we're not literalizing the gods here. The gods are something that affect the story, but also they are experiencing the gods the way religious people of now experience their gods.
Yeah, where it's little
interesting.
Yeah, but okay, so there's Calypso, and then and do we see that is the Sinon thing first before we then get to them leaving, or is that later?
This, I feel like we see the Sinon thing first, don't we? Like, that's like, is that not the first thing we see in the movie?
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is.
I think we see that for 1 second, and then they go to Travis Scott doing the bard thing.
Yes.
Singing the song.
Yes. Okay.
What comes after Calypso and that like thing is he flashes to the Cyclops situation, doesn't he?
I think first it's they get on the ships to go home, and then Agamemnon is going one way, and then everyone's like, aren't we gonna follow him? And he's like, no. We're gonna do my thing.
Yes, that's right.
And it's gonna be awesome.
Yes, and they are attempting to do their thing, and then they end up, do they go to that little town where they set all the buildings on fire and they're like, why did everybody run away?
Oh, yeah, that might be first. And then
they find the Cyclops.
Yeah, and then that's the first we hear about the sea people.
Yes. Well, Anne Hathaway or Penelope mentions the sea people, right, in the beginning. She says something, or maybe it's Telemachus mentions the sea people. Oh, we're really veering. But the scene where they go to they make their first stop and they're like, we need to get provisions, and they go to this place where they sack the town, basically, is like the first sign that they are bad. Yeah,
where you're like, oh, these aren't like good guys, like with a moral compass.
But it's very funny because it's not dwelled on, and you're just kind of like, oh, I don't know. I think when we're introduced to Odysseus in his prime, before he's stuck on the island and he's like, we're getting these flashbacks, there's something very funny about casting Matt Damon, because Matt Damon is incredibly easy to root for.
Mm-hmm.
And Odysseus is a character that is arrogant in his belief in himself, and like, so you feel that in the decisions that are getting made, but also it's Matt Damon making those decisions, and you're like, but he's funny and I love him.
He's also like a funny, I do think he works, but it is funny that like, I would say he is probably our most sort of classic all-American guy, like corn-fed actor. And so it
as
is
corn-fed as you get in Boston.
Yeah. The corn is a corn dog, but there's corn involved. But I'm not saying I wish this was the case, but it almost would make more sense to cast like Ben Affleck, because he
darker features.
he like, I feel like he can, there's a darkness to him.
Yeah.
In like, it's his sad eyes. It's the alcoholism. But like, there is a darkness to him just as an actor, as a person, that like Matt Damon doesn't have.
Yeah, it is interesting that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck essentially are Black Cat Golden Retriever vibes a little bit.
Oh, that's so true. And that's why they're a perfect couple.
Yeah, that's why they're our favorite couple. But yes, it is the first moment where you're like, hey, these guys they just like burned this town because they need supplies. Like, their version of getting supplies is that we're just going to take them.
Yeah, and then what is Himesh Patel's name in his like second in command?
That is an excellent question.
Eurylochus. 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 It's Eurylochus. So yeah, they sack the town. Then they're like, yeah, hell yeah, okay, on to the next island for provisions.
Yes. And then they find a sheep in a pasture,
which
on the next island.
And they're like, ooh, sheep's always our flocks. Let's follow the sheep to this cave. And then they're like, okay, cool. We'll just like wait for the guy whose cave this is. And
yes, because of Zeus's law, even though they're already eating his stuff.
Yeah. And Eurylochus is like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't. Or someone is like, maybe we shouldn't. And then Odysseus is like, no, it's all good.
Yeah, he just believes it's gonna be fine. And then the sequence that then of course it turns into a horror movie for 20 minutes with this with the Cyclops. It's thrilling to watch. I mean,
and they make the Cyclops
so well done,
so genuinely grotesque, which, part of the reason the Odyssey is like, it was kind of an interesting choice for like Christopher Nolan is because he is someone who makes films with absolutely zero levity, lightness. He is a humorless filmmaker. That is his thing. And when you have all these like monsters and all this stuff, like it is a little bit hard to not make that like a little campy.
Right. And
but he did it.
He did it.
He did it. Like the Cyclops is so, the texture of his skin and the way he moves and the way the eye looks, and it's disgusting and scary.
It's disgusting and scary and a little sad.
Yeah,
the Cyclops is a little sad by the end of the Cyclops sequence.
Because it's like,
you're like, and he starts talking. The thing where they poke him in the eye, and then he's like upset, and he's talking, and they're like, he can talk, and it's like, you guys didn't even try that, like,
right?
And there's the I would say the line in that scene where they're talking about where Odysseus says, "Would you try to reason with ants?" Mm-hmm. That has really stuck with me. That is like fascinating. But then he doesn't even try to talk. They don't even try to talk to the giant
like
Cyclops.
Even once they know, I guess they've already poked out his eye. They know he's gonna be pissed. But
he says that, right? He goes a little late for that, which is a very like perfect Matt Damon line.
But like, the Cyclops is, and he's human enough to like, let his sheep in and out like a human shepherd would do. Like,
I've got a question about how he milks the sheep, but that's okay.
Now, I'm really familiar with the Cyclops because my good friends James, Henry, and Ed worked for him for a period. Back in the day, he was their boss, but then they kind of fucked things up and he fired them. But no hard feelings. No hard feelings. It was their fault. I'll admit it. It was their fault. They made a big thing go up his ass, and sorry.
Sorry.
No one's the bad guy there. But,
guys, it's a Minions and Monsters reference. I know nobody saw that movie.
They worked for the Cyclops for a little bit. But yeah, no, did you see the behind the scenes of the big puppet that they used during filming so that they had something to like act against?
Yes. Incredible.
That was so cool.
Really think, I mean, essentially any behind the scenes I've seen of this movie is really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm always pro puppet, so I was of course very excited to see a puppet in the mix here. This also is the scene where, or like, this is the sequence where you start to get like another really clear example of Odysseus's hubris as they're escaping, and he fires one more arrow just to be a fucking asshole.
Literally just because he can. And
it gets tons of people killed.
Yeah. And honestly, like, that's what dooms them. Like, it just fucks up everything. And he just I think Eurycles, Himesh Patel, he's like, why did you do that?
Yes.
And that's the first time when he starts being like, what the fuck, man? Because Odysseus is just like, he is, his pride is just like stronger than anything. Like, that's his thing, and it's a problem. The gods hate that. They hate hubris.
They hate that. And also, I didn't know this while watching the movie, but I did read later that I know he says Poseidon in the Cyclops says Poseidon when it's upset, but it's Poseidon's son.
Yeah, I think on the ship someone does say that and is like, okay, now Poseidon's pissed at us. And then isn't it that's when then we get like essentially a montage of just like storm after storm after storm?
Yes.
And that's when they get set so off course that Odysseus is just like, well, we're lost.
Sorry. But after this sequence, after the storms, we switch to Tom Holland. Okay,
Telemachus.
Telemachus has set sail to meet with Menelaus,
who is
to find out
who is
what
the husband
brother.
So husband of Helen, who the whole war was over her brother of Agamemnon.
And I mean, John Bernthal, not an actor. I've never not an actor I ever have interacted with, I think, much. I don't watch like Punisher, which I think is like the main thing people love him for. Although,
can you imagine if we were big Punisher fans?
That'd be kind of funny. I do see clips of him and his podcast or something.
He's very like Blue Lives Matter guy. He's
well, he plays the Punisher, no shit.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say he seems actually quite thoughtful and sensitive in a lot of them.
Interesting. I've only ever seen him seem very like bro-y. I would say I don't care for him as an actor, and a lot of people find him like really hot, which I don't. I find Bobby Cannavale very hot, and I do think that John Bernthal is evil Bobby Cannavale.
That's funny.
That's my take on him.
I've only seen clips where he's being... So there's like a very famous clip of him and Deborah Ann Woll, who is like a beloved actress, but also an avid D&D player. And there's a very famous clip where she teaches him, she's like, do you want to try? He's kind of like, I've never done it. Like, I don't know. And she's like, do you want to try it? And she essentially does it with him where she's like, okay, you walk up to this place and you see this thing and what do you do? And she teaches him that like it's quite simple and kind of just like storytelling, and he's like very amazed by it. And then later in that interview, there's more clips where he's just being incredibly like sweet and sensitive to her about when she's talking about her husband. There's also a clip of him talking to Shia LaBeouf where he's being very like, he's like gentle parenting Shia LaBeouf a little bit when he's saying insane stuff. So I err on the side of thinking he's probably a nice man, and I don't care if people are Blue Lives Matter people.
I think his politics are quite bad, but he might be like a guy where it's like he might be like chill to like hang out with, you know?
Well, and to be honest, like even if his politics are bad and that's why people like those people gravitate to him, I think it's good that what he does is like show a little bit of emotional intelligence and sensitivity and model that. I think that is ultimately positive. So I feel okay about him. And I thought he was quite good in this character. Like, I thought he was well cast.
I mean, he's like barely in it, but and he is playing very kind of like, toxic dude. But that is the character, just kind of like dumb, toxic asshole. I would have preferred if it was Bobby Cannavale. But
Bobby Cannavale probably couldn't fit in the horse with everybody. You know what I mean? He's a big man.
It's true.
They needed a smaller man. They all got in the damn horse for real.
Somehow, that Bobby Cannavale could have squished. But no, John Bernthal was totally fine in that role. Lupita, like I thought she was very great in her 3 minutes.
She was. She was really intense.
Yeah, and she is so striking.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that reveal when she like turns and you see that like the half of her face is scarred, and it's like you don't know exactly why, because that's not like canon. But
right.
And any explanation is so dark, like whether
horrific.
He did that to her, whether someone else did that to her, whether she did that to herself, like she's so intense and like so regretful when she's like, say sorry to your mom for me. Yeah.
Yeah, really good stuff. But then that introduction to Menelaus is what gets us the first time we get to see the sacking of Troy and the horse stuff. And the horse sequence of them getting in the horse, being in the horse, getting there. This is where I was like, for me, clicked that this movie is something incredibly special because how on earth, this is like the part of the movie that we all know. We all know what happened here. And somehow he managed to make it feel new. Like,
totally.
He depicted it in a way I have never even considered or seen or thought about. And I just thought it was such an incredible sequence.
Yeah, no, I mean I've never considered that the horse wasn't on all fours.
Sure. Yeah, truly. I've never seen it depicted not on all fours.
Yeah. The horse was very beautiful. My only thing was like, I wish it was a little rougher around the edges. I don't believe they could have made this shiny and sleek of a horse on the beach with ship debris. But it was a very striking effect when then like it's in Troy and lit by fire and everything.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
Gorge. And that they had, real extras actually pulling it on ropes.
And
insane.
It's like, I really love that no one considered like, hey, this horse is so much heavier than an empty wooden horse should be. Well, I guess they kind of did because they did hit it with spears. Yeah. But yeah, like them being in there for like days.
I had never considered that, like, it would be tough to even stay alive. And boy, you sure would be surrounded by piss and shit.
Yeah, they're like truly like they would all be pissing and shitting like on each other's heads.
Yeah.
And they just had to like deal with it.
And also in the beginning, it's like kind of half submerged in sand and water.
Well, don't some of them drown, which then also means they would be in there with dead, rotting bodies?
Yes.
It's rough.
And I've seen Matt Damon talking about how when they were shooting that part with the horse, that one that like he asked Nolan I think this is a Seth Meyers clip. He asks Nolan the day before, like, hey, how are we going to do the inside of the horse? Like, what is the plan? And Nolan goes, I don't know. We'll figure it out tomorrow. And he's like, okay. And they do it. And Nolan's like, I guess we're just all going to get in there. And they all just got in there. And, but they were filming that in Morocco and it was winter. And so the water was ice cold.
Oh my God.
And so John Barenthal was like half submerged in the water. And like, when you're in ice cold water, your body, you involuntarily will start to shiver. And so he was like doing a thing where he was trying to like push a bunch of pressure into his hands to just kind of like let out the energy so that he could stay still for like a second to get the shot. And again, this seems, I'm just so grateful that they really endured such misery for us.
It really does make a movie better when they're just actually doing the things. Like it really truly does.
They truly do.
And then this is the part where you see them like getting out of the horse and all that, right? Because
yes, it's amazing
scene where they're out of the horse and it's pitch black and then it's illuminated and there's all of them I think that was probably the first point in the movie where I was like feeling something.
Chills. Like I feel like my hair was standing up on my arms when I was like watching. I mean, and it's so funny because it's just like, we know what happens. They succeed. But like as like more and more and more soldiers are like closing in on them and they're like, he's like shooting them with arrows and they're just like trying to crank this door open.
Yeah.
And the feeling I felt when the door opens and you see Agamemnon and the
oh my God,
insane Darth Vader armor.
So nuts. And it's really great choice to have him never take it off because
yes,
Benny Safdie does have such sweetie pie face. in my opinion, that like
I
think
had no idea that's who was in there.
Yeah. What would you like? I just feel like him never taking it off was a good choice.
Definitely. I think it was certainly a good choice. And also, like, it was interesting to think about that, like, if you're going to play a character like that, the way you have to embody it is like with these strong movements. And like, I saw an interview where he talked about like, if he had to turn to talk to someone, it doesn't look good if Agamemnon's like moving like wobbly and moving his head around. So like he would have to turn with his like full body to like kind of try to embody that like seriousness.
Yeah.
And I think it really worked. I mean, I think it looked really cool. And
Totally.
I know that armor was like something that like historical costumers were mad about or whatever.
But it looked so cool.
It looked so cool.
And also like, so then, because he is a bad, that's the thing about like all these like Greek myths. It's like the people who are like big and powerful, that which is why like the illusion of this like crazy armor is so good, because it's like Agamemnon, it's not like he was this like awesome guy or like incredible warrior or like super smart. Like Odysseus was like known for being like super smart and clever, but it's like Agamemnon just simply is the one who started the war. And he also is a bad guy. Like that whole thing with the flashback when Clytemnestra kills him, well deserved. He killed her daughter. Like that's he deserved that.
And it's just, and you know, we're gonna come back around to the sacking of Troy again, but like it's so funny that in this part of the movie where you see the sacking of Troy, you're like, wow, great work, this was incredible.
It's
like I was really rooting for you guys.
Which is so interesting, because it's also again, it's like one of these wars where it's like no one's the good guy. There's no reason for this war. Like it's not good guys versus bad guys. It's like everyone's bad. But
it's like, spoiler, they let you stay on the beach in front of their town for 10 years and didn't fuck with you, and somehow you still did this.
There's that, and then the flashback to, or not whatever, the flash to Agamemnon getting killed, like is, and
that's when I started to suspect it was Benny Safdie. I was like, hey, I know that hair.
That kingdom, you see so little of it, but it looks so different than like everything else. Like just in that flash, there's more color, there's more, it's interesting,
like lush drapery and stuff like that. And like definitely. And because he's in charge of the trade routes, right? That was the whole thing for the war, so he has the nicer stuff. Okay, next we go to the big guys whose name I can't say.
Laestrygonians.
So Odysseus and his men have admitted they're lost, and they go to this island where there's just a child. And they're rude to the child. They're like, rude to where's the food?
And then the child screams like,
always scary. Always a scary introduction and to a child.
They're like, wait, no. Where are your parents? Kid, where are your parents?
And then what comes out are big guys.
So big. Which they did practically, which is amazing. By just having little guys and then really big guys.
They do this insane practical effect where the forest floor and the trees are essentially creating like jail cells around them. It was so cool. But also through this sequence, I was like, and they're running back to the boat because they fucked up and now the big guys are after them.
A lot of running.
Damn, you guys have to run to this boat a lot.
A lot of running to the boat.
We're not learning a lot of lessons here. We're running to the boat every other scene. And after the big guys, it leads us to the Circe sequence.
Which was I thought really great. Also, because it's like the one thing I know something about, it was the
Me
one
too.
thing where then I was going kind of like, this isn't right mode.
Yeah.
But I also did love what he did with it. So like no complaints.
Yeah, it acknowledged enough of the Circe like powers and story and situation.
It's they went really hard on the almost like a more modern idea of what a witch is. Because she was very like witchy, and Circe is technically a witch, but like she's a demigod. So she also, it's like, which they don't acknowledge. If they did acknowledge that, she kind of would have to be like young and beautiful, because demigods don't like age. But I did think it was interesting.
Circe is usually depicted as kind of like sensual, right? And
yeah,
like
she's kind of like a like which like but also he stays there fucking her for a year.
Yeah, I think it's smart to have not included that, because if we're trying to root for him getting back to Penelope, we already have him. What they show us is sexless of the Calypso relationship, but we know what's going on that island.
Yeah, but I guess because there is that complete. I mean, it's a very sexless movie. Nolan's movies are. He's a man who is he's scared of the human body. Probably because of all the things that come from it that cause chaos on Earth. But yeah, I think because he abandoned the him fucking Circe for a year thing, he was like, oh, she doesn't have to be this like young, seductive, beautiful woman.
And having Samantha Morton, who played Circe, what a fantastic performance.
Yes.
Like, we don't get that long with her, but she really loved it.
So intense. Also, love her. If you haven't watched Harlots, you gotta watch Harlots. I need everyone to watch Harlots. It was like my favorite show, and then I got canceled after like 3 seasons. But oh my god, Harlots is so good.
Yeah, you like an old-timey prostitute sex worker situation.
I love it. My favorite genre, honestly. That's actually, there's this one book series. You know what? I'm just gonna do a recommendation right now. There's this book trilogy I'm obsessed with. Speaking of old-timey sex workers, that is one of the few ancient Greece, ancient Rome novels that isn't about like myths. It's just about people who live then. And it's about this woman who is a slave in a brothel in Pompeii prior to the volcano, and her life. It's called the Wolf Den trilogy.
Okay.
Cannot recommend it enough if you're into ancient
I'm writing
Greek,
it down.
ancient Rome stuff. So
look at me. I got a pen. Wolf Den. Wolf Den trilogy.
Wolf Den. But Samantha Morton, she was like, it was so intense, and it was just like such vitriol towards them that was like, she in her short time in this movie did have to kind of deliver the whole thing, the whole theme of this movie.
Yeah, because the movie essentially turns on this encounter, like, completely.
Mm-hmm. And where it's like, she's so correct about them, and it's like, did they do anything to you? And it's like, no, but they would have. Like, it's she's not wrong. They've been just going around doing this. Like, they have that is who they are. And then to make the pig thing such like an intense like body horror scene was cool.
So nasty.
Yeah. Another thing I've never like considered is like her like shaping them, and like those strips of meat they kept zooming in on that they ate to become the pigs was so nasty.
It was brutal. It was such a nasty scene, and it doesn't go on for that long, but it is like 3 solid minutes of just like.
But I knew they were doing something. I actually didn't know about the Samantha Morton casting. I like during the movie I realized I didn't know who was playing Circe, and I realized they were doing something different with it when they went up to her little cottage, and it was so sort of like classic witchy, as opposed to kind of like a beautiful, whatever. But it does look very like woodland witch.
Yes, and I loved it. This was like one of my favorite sequences. because watching Samantha Morton and Matt Damon act with each other was really intense.
Yeah. And then when she like brings them back and she's like, back into your disguises.
Ugh, so good. And then this leads into one of the most like visually stunning things, I think, was Hades.
Yes, yeah.
Going to Hades from there.
Yeah, which also was, yeah, is that okay? So she tells him to go there to get the other instructions, right? That's what it is. Okay, yeah. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was clearly filmed in Iceland, that like black rocky beach. Stunt people were literally buried in the sand.
Amazing.
Insane.
That's
truly insane. Like clawed their way up. They have to sacrifice. They have to make a blood sacrifice, and they sacrifice 2 sheep. And even the like, it just, all the visuals of this were just so stunning. The like scooping the blood into their mouths so that they can like
talk.
Take some vitality to talk. Really crazy stuff.
I wonder what the blood was, because it looked so blood-like and viscous.
Yeah, and isn't it frequently like a corn syrup base that then they sort of do something to it that's a little more opaque, so that it's not like clear red.
I don't know, but it looked
syrup.
It looked great.
It looked really cool, and this was Elliot Page's time to shine.
Yeah, big moment, which was like really good and like really, I think, important. That whole little story for like this version of the Odyssey is such a human version. Like it's taking this like mythology thing and like really bringing it down to like and Elliot Page's whole little arc was such a good, like, really brings you back, you and Odysseus, to like the human level of the story.
Yeah, and just such a like burning quality to the performance. So like really captured like a frustration and a rage that was so really intense and like beautiful.
And is that when we get the flashback to the Sinon Antaeus sort of origin story, or is that was that earlier?
I feel like we get multiple, right? Because don't we get one and then we get one that recontextualizes it a little bit? I think this was the recontextualizing one where he talks about how he was paid to take the trade or something.
He was supposed to be. It was that Antaeus was supposed to go. He pulled the one, and then he said to this much younger, smaller child, if you switch with me and you go, I will like give your family, your poor farmer family, this, I will give them gold. I will. Yeah. And then he didn't.
Yeah.
So it was, so then he never paid them, because then Sinon is like, my father died and like desperate, a beggar, and I'm dead because of this. And yeah.
And this is where we get that he needs to go west to honor the dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Because there were all throughout, there's like a bunch of people that like he can't bury just because of the circumstances. And like, I think there's like just a bunch of rules about what you have to, because like the gods are very literal, like the afterlife is like a very literal thing. And you have to be like buried a certain way and stuff to make it there. Because then also he's like, Agamemnon is there, and he's like, what are you doing here? Hey dude, hey man, you're dead? What happened?
That's crazy. I thought you were at your place.
Which would also mean he's like there with his daughter that he killed, and she's probably like, what the fuck?
Why did you do this to me? But that was just such a striking sequence, and he gets told that what the next steps are, that he has to pass the Sirens, and that he has to pass Scylla and the whirlpool monster.
Yeah,
whose name
and
is
that
escaping me.
Well, I think the whirlpool isn't a monster; it's just a whirlpool. And
I think it's a demigod. I'm gonna look it up.
But yeah, he's like, if you go past Scylla, you'll lose 6 men. If you go through the whirlpool, you'll all die.
Would you believe me if I said I don't know that I'm going to be able to pronounce this? But it's Char.
Oh, Charblis. Is that
yeah,
it?
Charblis.
Okay.
But that it's created by that person. Anyway.
When I said Charblis, I was thinking of Charbly the wine.
Which I think is Chablis.
Chablis.
No R.
Oh well.
I was also thinking of Charizard the Pokemon. So we're doing really well. We have mythology all over the place.
Once again, this is a podcast from 2 women who did not go to college.
I was thinking like my really true impression after I saw the movie was like, damn, if you're like a dumb bitch who didn't go to college and was a straight 2.0 student and also have never really seen any other Christopher Nolan movies, this hits very hard. It was all a surprise to me.
But yeah, so there's the death thing, and then once again they get chased to the boat.
Once again, chased to the fucking boat.
Stop getting chased to the boat.
It's funny that part is in the trailer, him running with all the... I thought that was him leading his men. It's very funny that what it is him like fleeing.
Yeah, it's just always fleeing. But yeah, that scene was a very beautiful visualization of like the living and dead meeting.
Yeah.
And then... Yeah, so then it's the Sirens.
This is one of my favorite parts too.
Yeah, that was so like good,
breathtaking. This and the horse were the 2 things that I was like seen it a million times. Like, and the choice to not play us the song but have this like beautiful voiceover.
Yeah,
and
just watching the reaction, because it's like, yeah, how could you ever come up with a song that is supposed to be this song that makes people jump to their deaths to try to get to it? Like, you can't. It's you just can't. So like you such a smart way to do it.
Yeah, really fantastic. And this, I also saw an interview clip with Matt Damon where he was like, we shot all the coverage of me first, and he's like, so like it takes an hour by boat to get to this place where they were shooting on the ocean.
Oh my god.
The Sirens were stunt women because those are the only people qualified to like get onto those rocks, because it is just a rock in the sea.
I also love that you didn't really see them. You just saw them in hazy profile.
Yes, but that he essentially had to spend that entire shoot day like tied to that pole.
It is also like, it's his reaction, because it's such a long reaction shot, and it's like it goes between like horror but also like kind of sexual and also sad and also happy,
and almost like happy tears but sad tears but and horrified,
also, oh no, I'm about to come, and it's like just all these things. And it also, again, hubris that he's like, it works out this time, but like that he's like, no, I want to be the first to hear it. No one's ever heard it before, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and there's no reason other than he's just being a little fucker about it.
He just wants to be like, it's like no one else has done it, so he's like, okay, great, I'm gonna be like the one guy who's, because it's like, yeah, everything in ancient Greece was like about accomplishments. Like literally everything was about, like, nothing was about being a good guy. It was all about just like, well, what did you do? What did you accomplish?
Yeah, and
what did you conquer?
This makes me think of people who like just sort of like bucket list collect stuff, experiences, and like it's just for Instagram and they never do never are doing anything meaningful that they care about. That's what it made me think of. But I loved that. And then also Scylla, they passed Scylla in the whirlpool, and that Scylla effect was also practical, like in terms of the boat.
Oh.
Like they actually had stuff rigged on the boat that yanked them off.
That's cool. I didn't love the Scylla arms look. I feel like those could have looked a little cooler. They looked a little too like alien to me. I wanted them to
very
be
alien.
a little more sea creature-y. I wanted them to be more tentacle-y.
Yeah, when I read Circe, I pictured Scylla as a tentacle.
Well, I think it is like a tentacle situation because Circe made Scylla. Out of a fellow like nymph. But yeah, I kind of wanted to see. I wanted it to be a little more tentacly. I wanted to see a little bit more of the retreating back into like the whole cave thing. But that is so important because after that is when, for some reason, Himesh Patel's name is the one Eurocles. That's when he's like, I am so mad at you.
Yes. Fuck you.
He's like, I am so mad. I mean, I guess also like with Circe, they're like, how about you stay behind? How about you?
They do a little mutiny light. They're like,
because he's like, is this a mutant? He's like, that's up to you, bitch. And so he stays. That. And then honestly, that's the only reason that he doesn't get turned into a pig too and can like try to talk her out of it.
Yeah. Although she can see that he didn't take part in the sacking of Troy, that he didn't indulge in the evils.
Does she?
I think so. I think that is the thing, is that she can see that his men raped and pillaged and that he didn't, because she does see that he brought a weapon in and lied. But she
sees the dagger.
Think, yeah.
So then everyone is like really mad at him and a bunch of their oars are broken.
And then they just keep hitting storms till they all die.
Because like he tricked. He's a tricky guy. That's the whole thing about Odysseus. So it's like, it's not like he told them like, Circe told me that if we do the whirlpool, we'll all die, and if we do Scylla, 6 of us will die. Like, he reverse psychologies second in command to choosing Scylla, and then is like, all right, if you insist.
Okay.
Like he does trick them into choosing that. But then next is the sun god's island with all the cattle. And that one he does straight up say, we cannot stop on this island because you will eat a cow and then you will all die.
And they're like, let's just try.
They're like, it's fine. There will be like other stuff there and then we'll just like be on our way. And so they stop on the island and they're like, oh my God, the wind is our friend. It's sending us straight to the island. And they are beautiful cows, gorgeous cows.
And the sun god is,
I think,
Circe's father.
Yeah,
right.
I think at this point it's Helios. I think Apollo isn't considered like the sun god till later.
Right.
And then they one night they're like in a pit eating one of the cows.
Did you think if you ate it in the dark, the sun god wouldn't see? He's
just like, oh my God, you guys. And then quite quickly, then they're like, oh my God, yay, the wind is back again. Hooray.
Perfect.
He's actually happy we ate his cow. And then they all die real fast
almost
in a big storm.
Immediately. Yeah. And then we go back to Calypso's island where all is revealed and he's like, all right, I guess I gotta go.
Yeah. And the whole time he's like, how long have I been here? And then she's like, 7 years. And he's like, what?
You were happy though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You were eating your flowers.
And then, so then again, they don't really say in the movie why she all of a sudden decides to let him go. But it's because she's forced to. She wants to just keep him as her like sex slave forever, but they make her let him go. And so he builds a little raft and then he ends up washing up on the shores of Ithaca.
he's told he has to give himself over to the gods, right? And that's he has. Does Calypso tell him that, or Athena? I can't remember, but.
Oh, I don't remember. Because also a lot of the gods are mad at him this whole time because of his hubris. But like Athena, because she loves like wisdom and stuff, she like loves him this whole time. And so like, yeah, she's
sort of like advising. She appears to him and advises.
So yeah, then it's like, I found this whole third act once he gets to Ithaca thrilling.
God. Yes. I like that he gives himself over to Poseidon, and Poseidon's like, okay, here you go. Go home. And then he goes up, he finds John Leguizamo.
Yeah. Who has just been like really fucked over by these guys that Antinous is paying to go intercept and kill Telemachus he's coming back.
That main guy that he's paying to go do the bad stuff at Athena's temple.
Yeah.
That guy was born to be cast as like some sort of evil guy. He's just like wormy street tough. I can picture him in like being a street criminal in like a Jack the Ripper type setting.
Literally, yes. Nobody has ever looked more like old English street gang than that guy. It's crazy. Like he absolutely is the leader of a street gang of orphans in the 1800s.
It's incredible, and I hope he gets a lot of work because of that look. I hope that really carries him far. But yes, so Odysseus is back, but he's not showing himself. He goes to intercept, and boy, at Athena, that whole sequence at Athena's temple was so exciting.
I imagine that as somebody who wanted John Leguizamo to be suddenly kicking ass later on, you really liked when old man Matt Damon just like all of a sudden starts kicking ass.
Yes, I did.
And Telemachus is like, whoa,
this beggar is cool. Thank you. And it was a little like painful to keep watching Odysseus be with Telemachus, and I know that he was given the advice by Agamemnon, or I think it was Agamemnon. It was like, you can't just go home. You can't just walk through the front door. There's shit going on.
Yeah, and it's like, good advice from a guy who killed his daughter and then was like, hey, I'm home.
It worked. He heeds that advice, and he doesn't just go home, and he won't tell people who he is, but it is tough to watch. I'm just like, he wants to find you so bad.
It's
just
also,
tell him.
It is such an interesting, thing about just an era where like there's no pictures and not even like paintings. Like there were paintings, thousands of years later with like a good likeness of a person. It's like, there's no way anybody would know that like this was that same guy, because like who would even remember his face like 20 years later without ever seeing it in the meantime.
The only person who remembered his face is blind now. Tough stuff. But then we go when Telemachus finally figures it out, and Odysseus tells him to plan a banquet.
And he's so happy, and it's all because of the dog, because he sees, which also
it's all because of the dog. Oh my god,
the dog's just like been dying on a pile of shit this whole time.
It's so sad.
But then when he comes and the dog, like Telemachus sees his little tail wagging with his like last few breaths, and then he dies, and then he like
it's really devastating stuff.
And then he's like, Papa, it's you.
And so they do the banquet for the next night, and I'm locked in.
Oh yeah. And
locked in.
Antius is like, he's like, okay, that's crazy that Telemachus is back. What the hell happened?
Yeah. He's mad that he's back, and then he's rude to the beggar who is secretly Odysseus.
Which is breaking Zeus's law, because Yeah.
You have to be nice to beggars and everybody that comes to your house.
Because any of them could be a god in disguise, which it is really funny how much Telemachus says to every single person he meets or knows, like, you have Athena's eyes.
I know.
Actually, you have like eyes like, and it's like, oh my God, this guy wants to meet a god so bad. It's also like, just something I think interesting about that concept is like how much things repeat through various mythologies, like how similar that is to like later fairy tales with like a fairy just disguised as like an old woman saying like, can you pull a bucket up of water for me? And then if you say yes, you're rewarded. If you say no, you're like cursed.
Yeah. I mean, I think that throughout the histories, we've always had to be reminded that we need to be kind to each other and that each other's all we've got.
And it does feel very appropriate that with Greek mythology, it would be like, you know, not just out of the goodness of your heart, but because there could be a very real consequence.
Because you can't be trusted with the goodness of your heart.
Yeah. Which I think is a very accurate view of humanity, but nonetheless.
And I believe Christopher Nolan's view of humanity, to be honest.
Totally.
I think that's why he did this.
So yeah, there's the banquet, the beggar.
But then, so after the banquet's over and Penelope invites the beggar to talk to her, this sequence where he delivers his confession, essentially. He doesn't tell Penelope who he is.
Oh, I also, just while we're talking about, because this was earlier, I do want to just mention the scene that is like Anne Hathaway, if she wins like, or is nominated for a Best Supporting Actress, it will be for that scene when Telemachus is like, he's been sent to talk to her to like test her, to be like, you can remarry. You should remarry, actually. I heard he wants you to remarry. And she is so mad. She's so good in that scene.
Yes. And I took that test to be like that it's not that Odysseus doesn't trust her, it's that he needs her to set up the trials so that he can defeat the suitors and reclaim his place with her.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, but I liked how mad she got. And there's like a little bit of like feminism, but not in a way that feels shoehorned in, like girl boss feminism. Like
it's just her frustration, right? With like it was her position,
almost on the edge of that when she's like, "Oh, because only a man can sit on the throne." But it's like, yeah, it is annoying. She has been queen for 20 years, you know. You know,
absolutely. And then, but when Odysseus starts to talk to her and he says that he was with Odysseus, you know, he's like, I fought beside him. This fucked me up bad. I think this is the emotional crux of the whole thing for me. And I was like shaking, crying. This whole thing. This is where we get to see the sacking of Troy again for what it was.
And it's like, this scene it recontextualizes the entire movie, which is why I'm so excited to see it again. Yeah,
because it essentially is like, you actually see the horrors and how ugly it was and how they were just, you know, like, how horrified he was by what he had done, and that he is so scared that what he has done is broken the world by breaking Zeus's law to such a large degree, by making a gift that gets brought into the town that was something they used to hurt them with.
And like the movie is saying that like he is correct. His fear in that is correct. Like he has set a precedent, because it's also, this scene is where it's everyone you really like. In that first scene, you see them fighting other soldiers, the soldiers of Troy. And then in this one, really everything you see is just the normal citizens of Troy.
And they're just like harming them. They're killing them. They're like men are just like pulling these women to the side, and
it's like just
horror.
Raping, beheadings, like just evil.
Yeah. And you know, it's like a familiar story, a soldier upset with what they did, like it, and it just is so, it is just so unbelievably moving. I had a moment when watching this movie that I like, you know, maybe around the Hades sequence where I was like, this is very cool, but I don't know that I'm like emotionally, like I couldn't quite tell if I felt emotional about any of it. And like, I was like, I wonder if this will move me. And by the time he's doing this speech and he sees Athena next to him, and then it's revealed, and I know people are taking this a few different ways. I have my way that I've taken it, but that, you know, the Athena statue is beheaded, but that also there's like a priestess of Athena that's there that is the same face that he's seeing as Athena.
Yeah, it's Zendaya.
Yeah.
But she's just it's a woman who is
so
beheaded.
Yeah, I took it to believe that Zendaya was just a priestess of Athena that he saw get beheaded, and that's why Athena appears to him in that form. I think there's other readings of it going around.
That is the reading that I think it is as well.
Yeah.
One of the others is, like it's just a figment of his, like it's his guilt personified. But I'm like, no, I do think that is literally Athena, because in this world the gods are literal, and Athena does literally come to him, you know. So
But I'm saying the other way. I'm saying that I believe he saw a girl who was a priestess of Athena get beheaded, and that because he saw that, the way he visualizes Athena coming to him is as this priestess, but that was not literally Athena.
Oh, okay. I think it is literally Athena, and she is presenting herself as this girl. Like that is because gods can present themselves in so like any way they want. I think that was just a human girl that he saw get beheaded and associated that so much with Athena.
I see.
And so that then Athena, when she presents to him, is presenting in the form of that girl.
Oh, okay. That's funny because it's like the same thing, but it's just who's deciding to do the presenting.
Yeah. One
but it's moving.
Oh my god, it's so like that is like the moment of the movie is like when you see her, because you've been seeing Zendaya this whole time in little bits and pieces as Athena.
Yeah.
And so then like you don't expect to see her there.
Yeah.
So then like when you see her and they're like holding her arms like that, it is like truly just like a shot to the heart where you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. And it's heartbreaking. It's like, so, I mean, it's really stuck with me for days. I've thought about it for days.
Totally. And it's like, for what he's done, I wouldn't say that I so much feel like a ton of sympathy for the character, but it's very sad, like the weight of what he has. But that is the moment where it's so telling about Christopher Nolan as a human, because it is just Oppenheimer again. Like he made the Odyssey Oppenheimer, where it's like, oh no, I was so smart that I made this thing to win this war, and I regret it because I have now unleashed a great evil upon this world.
Yeah, and the horse was the bomb.
Yeah, the horse was the bomb, and it's like it's I have unleashed something evil that I can't take back, and I have ruined the world.
Yeah. And like, you know, I wonder what Christopher Nolan is grappling with, and I don't know that it's personal. I don't know that it's about how he sees himself necessarily. But I think it is the type of story he's drawn to, and I think that like if I want to apply it to like and I'm just thinking this for the first time, so apologies already if this is like a half-baked idea, but like filmmakers do create something that shapes how the world behaves and reacts, and that these things that he makes have the potential to be dangerous to the world, and he's like pleading for people to be more careful.
Yeah. I also like, I don't think it's personal. I don't think it's necessarily that he's reckoning with like, you know, I don't think he thinks he's Oppenheimer, but I do think that he does have a very bleak view of humanity that is probably accurate. And I think he's just clearly fascinated by the mindset of people who like changed the course of humanity, but they got too caught up and like they didn't even necessarily intend to like ruin the world, but they did.
They were just trying to win their situation.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's bothering me so much when people are like, I don't like, it's so like bad to like assign this guilt and conscience to Odysseus when like he didn't have that, he didn't feel guilt and whatever. And it's like, right, but it's like the oldest story. You can make different things of it. Like Christopher Nolan made Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. I think it is so interesting. Why would he specifically have made this movie if he didn't have this specific interesting idea of what it could be? You know?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have. Like it's the reason this movie is great is because he made it something it's never been before.
Yeah, and he had a clear vision that he worked towards with it, and that, like, you know, the Odyssey is a story that was written down eventually, but existed as an oral tradition for hundreds of years before it was ever written down. So it's sort of absurd to me to be like,
there's a definitive version and he's not doing it.
Yeah, it's like there wasn't even a definitive version when they wrote it down. It had already been like molded to whatever sort of morality was useful to the storyteller.
Yeah,
in
and
that experience.
There's not a definitive version now because it was in a language that nobody speaks that version of Greek. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's just, I find it such a frustrating argument when it's like, when you think of how much stuff people do with like Shakespeare, right? Like somehow that's okay. And it's like, this is so old that even in Shakespeare's time, this was like unimaginably ancient. Like,
this was something Shakespeare was looking at too for like
compared to Shakespeare, who we consider like, who we don't even know who he was because that era is kind of such a mystery in its own right. He's like our peer compared to how old this is. So then to have this weird strict attitude about it is bizarre to me. It's like, no, it's the oldest story. People should be doing interesting things with it.
Yeah, and I have, you know, compassion for people who maybe, you know, have studied, like scholars of this or whatever, who just can't be normal about it.
But it's like, that's not who's not being normal about it is the thing. It's people who read it in high school and then have this weird sense of ownership over it. And but
it's also just like a bad habit. An extremely modern bad habit is like policing how other people interpret a story. And like, it's funny that this is sort of the oldest version of that bad habit. Like, you're policing how I interpret the Odyssey.
Right. And it's like,
grow up.
It's like, shoot me that I want the films I watch. I want the characters to have like interior lives and interesting character arcs. Sorry.
Yeah, and I want to see the prism of like what other people are seeing in the story, and like I like that people are sharing that stuff. I think it's cool.
Isn't that what like old stories are about? Whether it's this or Shakespeare or like fairy tales or whatever, it's like
Yeah.
what do you get out of it? It's like they're so omnipresent and like a bedrock of the society we live in, of language, of storytelling, of everything, that it's like it's all about how people see that, and like what he saw in this was an Oppenheimer story, and I don't think anyone else would have thought of that, and I think that's really interesting.
I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, rant over. Back to the feast.
back to the feast. Back to the story. They have that conversation. It has everyone in my theater sniffling and crying. And then the next night, Penelope does the trial. Right? She says during this feast, like, come back tomorrow.
Oh. Yeah. And
because they need time to put away the weapons.
Yes. And then all the suitors come, they lock the doors, and she's like, anyone who can, because earlier it was established that the only person who can string Odysseus's bow is him. And so it's like, whoever can string this bow and then shoot through these 12 axes, which are like crisscrossed, I will marry.
And Odysseus is the only one who can do it. I also can't believe I haven't mentioned the plucking the bow at any point until now, but that is like a very important part of Odysseus's whole thing.
Yes. Yeah.
His like honor, like code of honor is that he plucks the bow before he hunts. So that before he shoots it at all.
To give the animal warning so that it's a fair fight, which, then the whole Trojan horse thing is the opposite of that.
Yes. And so that's what makes this, the beginning of this, John Wick sequence really enjoyable, is that when he finally does it, and, obviously nobody else can do it but him, when he finally strings the bow and he just lifts it up and plucks it, and it has this like, they establish such a like cool musical note with the plucking.
Yeah, where it's like part of the score. Which
exhilarating.
Also, again, I don't know why I'm so caught up in this, but I think it's so interesting to see the parallels between this and then other old stories where it's like, how much is this like the Cinderella shoe thing? Yeah. Where it's like all these nobles can't do it, but then, the servant in rags, they're the one. They're, it's just, it's different. But it's like, that. There's so many motifs that clearly then were, anyways.
Inspired every other story that's ever been written.
Then this is like a big action sequence. And Robert Pattinson is so fucking funny. This whole scene. Like,
it's really funny.
He is so funny because, they locked away all the weapons, but then this one guy digs a hole in the weapons room. He hacks a hole in the weapons room to start dropping weapons. I think he's a servant who has like...
He's like a shepherd. He's one of the shepherds.
Oh, okay. He's
just like an evil shepherd.
Yeah,
it's
he's
so
just
weird.
like, I'm with these guys. And so then he starts dropping these weapons through the hole for guys to grab to fight Odysseus. And Robert Pattinson is just hiding behind a pillar going like, get the spears, get the axes, just naming things as they fall.
It's really funny.
It's really
funny.
Well.
It's really well acted.
He was so good. And Odysseus is just like beating all their asses. And then, also Mia Goth, I love Mia Goth. I did not think she was very good in her limited role, but,
I just couldn't imagine having an opinion about it. I feel like she said 2 words other than going.
Yeah. So she was just kind of like the evil, like slave girl to Penelope who is betraying her because she's like fucking Robert Pattinson, which I think because again they wanted to keep Penelope and Odysseus not that evil. There is a thing where like Penelope like hangs all of the slave girls who like ever slept with the suitors, which like isn't really fair because they probably raped them. But I feel like the one reference to that was when Mia Goth tries to get behind the protected thing with Anne Hathaway, and she's like, I think your place is out there. But that's like a true action fight scene.
And it's incredible. I loved it. I loved watching every second of it. I don't have any smart thoughts about it. It just was very cool.
It was cool. And then Some of the
music,
guys,
the score during it, I would say, was giving me a heart attack. It was just like the drums were getting heavier and heavier, and it didn't feel like they could get any more intense, and then they kept intensifying.
That guy truly never misses. It's like Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, he won last year, right, for Sinners.
He's just so, but didn't he also do Oppenheimer? He's so good. I think that Nolan and Ryan Coogler like split custody of him, but he like is their baby boy.
Do you know anything about the like making of the score?
No. I know. Oh wait, I know he didn't want to use an orchestra.
Yeah, he was told no orchestra, and so they had to resurrect like a Greek instrument that no reeds for. It's like essentially a flute that splits in half. Whoa. There's like two flutes, and it's like the most popular like ancient Greek instrument, but no reeds have survived history, and so they had to kind of reverse engineer how the reed would actually work. They used that, and they used lyres and like all these ancient. It's all ancient Greek, and James Blake's voice.
Oh my gosh,
it's also part of the score.
Okay, that is really funny because like then that makes me imagine like Jamil just like hanging out while this score is like so fucking funny.
There's like a featurette about making the score on YouTube if anyone's interested.
Yeah, no, the score was awesome. That scene was awesome, and then he's killing all of them, and then men start like kneeling. They're like, okay, I fold.
As they fucking should.
As they should. And then he goes to Penelope, and you think he's dying because he's like, I
thought he was dying.
Fuck, such a drama queen, this guy. He's literally like he's just like, I wanted to see Ithaca one last time. And she's like, you can't die. Don't die on me. And he's like, oh, I'm not.
We're going on a vacation.
Don't worry.
Yes, and then this is basically the end of the movie. They like leave in exile and leave Ithaca to Telemachus,
who has a little gold circle crown now.
A little circlet crown. I like that they I don't know if this is in the book, but I like that it's Penelope's idea to leave.
Yeah, because earlier she's like, I don't want you. It's a very nice ending. I believe that does not happen, and that there are like straight up like there were sequels to the Odyssey written, and he does have two sons by Circe.
Oh right.
And one of them accidentally kills Odysseus at one point, his father Odysseus, and then the other one ends up marrying Penelope after that, which is kind of kooky crazy.
I like the movie ending better.
I do as well. That would be so funny if they just had that as like a quick little like 5-minute
and after the credits. I feel like I had a flash in my mind of like, as we're getting toward the end of this movie, I was like, does this have a happy ending, or do I have to watch these people die that I've rooted for? Like I kind of got nervous at a certain point. Like, I hope everything works out in this ancient Greek story.
And it really did work out for them.
It really
did
the movie. Work out.
They're so happy because they're really in love. Like they really are.
Yes, and I love that.
Yeah.
They do say some like corny lines on the boat about like the Dark Ages.
I think he says something about like, oh yeah, because then the big thing is like the realization that he has and she has, I believe at like the sort of same time, right? Where that he and his men are the sea people. They are what they are.
Right. They are the people from the sea.
The people from the sea, and they've also just unleashed a pattern of people. But yeah, and so on the boat he says something of like, okay, I will admit it hit for me in the moment because of everything that was going on. But out of context, it is so corny. Our age of bronze is coming to an end because, yeah, I think the Odyssey was put to paper in ancient Greece, but the story was supposed to take place during the Bronze Age because that was already a very old story when it was told, you know? So our Age of Bronze is coming to an end, but like civilization will rise again and they'll forget all this or something.
Yeah.
It was very showing, not telling. But
yes, it was a bit much. I could have just had them sail off and I could just be fine with that. But that's okay. If you gotta get your shit off, Nolan,
it did drive the point home that, you know.
Yes, with a large hammer.
Yeah, that he, with a big ass mallet, a Looney Tunes mallet. We're Tom, he's Jerry. I don't remember which is the cat and which is the mouse. Maybe it's the opposite. But in the theater, I was kind of like, so true.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when the movie ends, you are like, oh my God. Like you're just you're like floating on a cloud, leaving, unless you didn't like the movie because you're insane. But no. There's like one or two people I respect who didn't love it. And I'm like, I'm open to your criticisms. But not the people on Twitter.
I just really loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the way it looked. It was a bit of like an understated look, and usually I would like want a little more, but like it worked because it's like, again, this is a very grounded version of the Odyssey.
Yeah, I really, really thought it was perfect, and I'm gonna see it again in 70 millimeter in a week. I love it so much. What Oscars do you think it's gonna be nominated for?
I mean, honestly, probably all. Here's the thing that might sound kind of crazy. I don't necessarily think it should be nominated for any acting Oscars. I actually
don't either.
Yeah, I thought everyone was great in it, but the acting was not like, none of the acting was like, oh my God, no one else could have done this. It's like,
yeah.
So I actually don't think it should be I think it will be, but I don't think it should be for any acting. But
I think Matt Damon's gonna go for a run.
I think Anne Hathaway for sure is too.
Yeah.
But like
score, I think it could easily win.
Production design, honestly, any technical categories. Best director, best adapted screenplay, best picture, like.
Yeah.
Best costumes, they were understated, but like I didn't love how often the guys were wearing pants. I don't think pants existed then, but like I thought the costumes were good. But there's probably better. I don't think it should win costume, but I think it will be nominated. But honestly,
I think it'll get nominated for a lot of things. I think score is what it has like its best chance, and picture probably.
Honestly, but
like picture and director.
Director, yeah.
Yeah. Screenplay, I don't know why I feel like maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's like obviously the screenplay is the basis of all of it, but for some reason I'm just like,
I feel like it deserves director more than screenplay.
The writing was fine, but the technical execution of everything is amazing. And like, you know, it's funny. This movie is, I think, what has turned me, I mean, not I think, I know for certain, turned me into a Nolan person where now I'm like, okay, I will go back and watch all those movies. And every interview I've seen with him where he talks about like the stuff he cared about doing on set, I'm like, he is like doing this at a higher level than anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. He's such a visionary.
He really is. And like, there's a really funny story that Anne Hathaway told on Brittany Broski's YouTube show called Royal Court, which is like a totally silly little like interview show. But her and Matt Damon went on. And Anne Hathaway talked about hearing some people on set saying, and I don't know if it was for this movie or another movie she did with Nolan, but it was like, she said that the person was like lamenting that they weren't doing a good job. Like, oh, I kind of feel like I'm not doing a good enough job.
I heard this, yeah.
Yeah, and the person that they were talking to said, if you are on this set, you are the top 3 people who do this job in the world. So like, that's who Christopher Nolan hires, is like the best of all of the craftspeople. They could easily be making more money doing easier jobs, and they're not.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because it's like you can tell how little room for error there is in anything. Like,
yeah, and how much everyone is pushed to like innovate.
Yes.
And like find new solutions to different problems. And, you know, people who working in film, especially below the line, is like such a brutal existence. Like it's very, very, very challenging, and it doesn't really make enough money to, it's like a tough life. So if you choose that life, you're so passionate. And so the idea that they get to, that like there's a group of people who get to go on these Nolan movies and be pushed to be creative and get to like do really cool, interesting stuff, I think is like something really special.
Totally. I saw something that I think it's the first scene where he's like, okay, we're like splitting from Agamemnon's crew. There's these dolphins. I saw somewhere that the dolphins were just a happy accident. Like,
yeah,
that's amazing.
It's amazing.
I think it really captured how like vast and scary the ocean is.
Yes.
And then, you know, if you have anything else to say it. But I did want to end with something that I keep forgetting to do. I would like us to rate the popcorn buckets.
Wait, I have to Google I think I've seen the horse bucket. And then is the IMAX bucket real?
I think so, because I saw somebody on TikTok using it as a planter.
Okay.
Which looked quite cute.
I want to do that. Oh yeah, Trojan horse and the IMAX film camera. So
what would you rate the IMAX film camera?
And what's the scale we're rating these on?
I forget.
This is your segment.
I know. I feel like it was like 5. Okay. Here's what the new scale is and will be forever, because I'm going to start remembering to do this. We have kernel, then slightly popped but would still break your tooth and has to be thrown out. Then half popped, you could technically eat, but you have to be careful. Then mostly popped. Then like a perfect, full, robust, voluptuous popped popcorn.
Okay. I'm giving the horse kernel.
Okay.
I'm just not pleased with it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's cute, but I don't want to stick my hand in it. I don't feel like the opening looks that convenient. And I'm giving the IMAX camera the perfect popped.
Okay, wow.
Perfect popper.
Both sides of the scale.
Both sides of the scale. And is it because I couldn't remember the ones in the middle even though you just said them? I don't know.
I'll get a visual for next time. I'll get a visual together. I would give the horse a just barely popped but would still break your tooth and you still have to toss it to the side, because I don't hate the idea of it. I hate the execution where it's like, look, I cannot tell you why this is making me so mad. That's clearly some sort of mental health issue on my end. But like every time I see the horse, it looks so much just like molded cast like chocolate. Like I watch a lot of like aesthetic forward baking shows. And so there's a lot of like molded elaborate chocolate sculptures. And it doesn't look like wood. It looks like chocolate. And it bothers me so much. So that's that.
I watch a lot of aesthetic forward baking shows.
I really do.
Sorry, we've been recording for 2 hours and I'm losing my mind.
That's probably one of the cores of my personality is aesthetic forward baking shows. And yeah, the IMAX one, I would give a full voluptuous popped popcorn because it's perfect. It's really cool. I don't know. I live in a studio apartment. I can't have that in my apartment. Like, where would I put it? What would I do with it? But I love it. It's really fun. I would love to use that as like a trinket tray.
Yeah, the idea of someone using it as a planter really, really sold me on it. I think that's very cute.
Because it says the Odyssey on it. It does. It says like 70 millimeter the Odyssey. It's really fun. Also, look, I'm going to mention in our last minute. I didn't want to mention it up top because I knew it would be a long episode. Not this long, but long. When I went to go see it at the Grove, Sia was having her movie premiere there in a different theater. So while I was in the Odyssey, like Sia, Kathy Griffin, all these people were in 14 watching the new Sia movie, which I did not know that existed. And then I ran into a customer from my job in the popcorn line who was there for the Sia premiere, and she was in the normal popcorn line and I was in the A-list popcorn line. And I was like, who's the customer now? But then she got to get out of the popcorn line because they get free popcorn for the premiere. For popcorn,
I was thinking that.
She doesn't know it at the time.
It
But there's always some bullshit going on the Grove. It's so funny.
That's so funny.
One time Lady Gaga was outside while I was watching Obsession. She was doing her Apple Music Live thing literally right outside the theater.
That's so funny. Yeah, the Grove is really the town square of show business. Used to be the ArcLight. Okay, yes, we've gone too long. So see you guys next week. I don't even remember what we're doing.
I think our only option might be her private hell, which is supposed to be god awful. So, we'll see you then.
We will go into it open. See you next week.
Bye.
Okay, wow. Well, we really did it. We really did it for 2 full hours. Thank you. If you made it all the way to this ending, we love you. So if you enjoyed the show, I will do my weekly ask of please, I ask, will you send this to someone who you think might enjoy the show? Maybe they're looking for a non-film bro podcast talking about the Odyssey. They're actually hard to come by. It's mostly men talking about this movie, but here we are. Okay, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, and we will be back next week where, guess what? I think we're talking about her private hell, but I leave the door open for us to change our mind and do something else. So tune in to find out what it'll be. Medium Literate was created and produced by Monica Scott and Emily Faye. Our theme music was composed by Christian Larson, and technical help is from Alex Luchin. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you at the movies.
Oh my gosh, 2 hours.
Yeah. When it was 1 hour in and we had just finished Intro to Calypso, I was like, fuck, dude.